Stand still and watch the guayabas grow. Oh, these orange trees must remember night after night of children putting on dreams before going to bed. Estas estrellas de barro, mira cómo se comen los sueños. Broken branches have always decorated this ground, wooden ankles and joints fracture earth. There's a tree over there that I once pretended was a fountain. My dog used to hide under those nopales back when the planet used to settle into itself. And there was a lime or lemon tree in the corner over there, but I don't really care to remember the difference. Things happened here once. 55 years ago, my father planted avocado trees in my grandmother's backyard. Holes big enough to fit the entire tree, he says. And there's a well there that my grandmother is afraid of. She once had to tie aprons together to pull my uncle out of the well. When it comes to saving lives, lace stained with mud and oil has to be hardy. And there were stories shared here once, stories of the woman who grew oranges from her hair. She braided it to keep her head from becoming too heavy. Or of the man who came running into this home gasping for breath as Sabila cut into his lungs. And yet the people in town always ask the same question: when will they return? 5 years ago, my grandmother left her home and moved in with us. And yet the earth here is still hard. The softness of water running through her hands works gently. And as I stand with her during her dialysis treatments, I realize that she doesn't really talk to me. I wonder what the Sabila and Henneken in her home remember about the days that she was around. Since she left, the pomegranate and the Huelanoches have forgotten what the voice of this woman sounds like. I remember her saying, a las colas del sol se le echa agua cada 2 días, pero se les habla cada 2 horas porque son envidiosas. Safe are the stories we find in the fibers of flowers. And I wonder if I listen hard enough, will my grandmother's plants whisper back to me, whisper about joy or monotony or fear or hope? So I planted cactus in my room, and it tells me about the snakes throughout history, the woman who started rumors about my grandmother's cooking, or that night in December when my uncle left his family and he never returned. Under my bed, I planted rose bushes, and they giggle at early hours in the morning. Remembering a figure named grandfather is something that has never meant anything to me. And oh, how they scream. Scream at the woes of being misunderstood. Along my walls, I have planted estafiate, and it tells me about how hard my father prayed when his stomach hurt. How he suddenly believed in God when pain became sound. I got a succulent. It doesn't say shit, but it's still there. In my rug, I planted maize, and it hums to mariachi and alabanzas, talks about valleys and hills and mountains, things you cannot see from my room, things you cannot see by stretching the mind. Oh, and the guayaba trees. They gasp every time I mention the name of somebody who has died. They shriek every time I whisper the names of the people I love. And the avocado trees, right before I go to bed, say, things haven't always been this easy. Things haven't always been this lovely. But things have always been this slow. Somewhere in that forest of whispering trees and plants, I recall memories I have never made.